Hello and welcome to Friday the 14th of May 2021, and we're already off to a good start because it's Friday the 14th, not Friday the 13th. I am Dale Delbert, Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I'm here with your status chat for the week. Now you might think that things are just crazy right here in Middle Tennessee and the greater Nashville market, and they are. But it could be much, much worse, because as we look at how things are going nationally, let's just go look at this little picture I have for you right here. Nationally, single-family home prices rose in 99% of the metro areas in the first quarter of 2021. Prices continue to rise, with 89% of the market showing double-digit home price appreciation. That means that cost is going up, your price is going up. Not a bad thing to have if you're selling a home. It's a little bit different if you're trying to buy a home. Now, you might think that everybody wants to live in Tennessee, and everybody that has good taste wants to live in Middle Tennessee, but not everybody does. And we see that the Northeast leads the nation in the area of the greatest appreciation, the greatest growth in prices. The West at 18%, and of course the South and the Midwest at 15 and 14.4 respectively. Not a bad home appreciation, if you want to be honest with it. Now, does it really affect us? Well, we have other ways to look at this stuff, and quite honestly, when you look at the markets, many of them are jumping nationwide. But what are the top 10? Well, here's a quick little graphic if you'd like to see what they are. Nashville did not make the top 10, but we still did quite well, I think, if you will agree. Now, one last little sticking point is potential impact of the new taxation policies proposed by our leadership in D.C. The capital gains. Now, for most of us in Tennessee of humble origins, as I would like to call myself, we don't normally hit that capital gains tax on our sale of our primary home, because there is an exemption of $250,000 gain. The first $250,000 is not taxable for singles, and for married couples, or in California, I think they call them registered domestic partners. There's a process that they do out there, because they have their own capital gains on top of the national capital gains. So what we typically would think of as married couple, for a couple, that's $500,000. Now, in my area, in Rutherford County, Murfreesboro, Tennessee area, the average home, it does not exceed $500,000 for the median home price. It's $380,000 or so around that lane. Not too bad. So it's hard to get an appreciation or a capital gain of $250,000 or $500,000. But I want to show you this picture right before you. And you see there are places around the country that the median price is quite possible that they might actually hit a capital gains on a primary home. See the darker red we see in California, the median exceeds $1 million. So an over $1 million home that now is subject to capital gains, you may get to take that first quarter off or the first half off, but you're still going to pay a substantial gain, capital gain. And of course, in California's case, they tax you twice. Not only do we have the national tax that you would pay here in Tennessee, but you're going to pay the California tax, and they're talking about raising that up as well. So in a previous show, I showed you a NAR map that showed where the highest growth over asking prices were. We see that California was one of those blue states that did it. Now, that means they're still selling pretty well in their market, and they certainly are outpacing us here. But many people in California can cash in California and move to Tennessee, and that might lead to even more competition in our area. Yet, our numbers show a slight improvement in our absorption rate. And we'll talk about it right after we get back from this message. Hello, I'm Dale Delbert of Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side and room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel. Call Dell to sell. That's one L in Dell, no spaces. Watch the demo on Real Scout and then call me and we'll set up your exclusive ad-free account today. Now that we successfully made it back from this message, just a reminder, because I know you watch my show repeatedly and regularly and often, and you know the absorption rate is what percentage of houses do we place on the market that are then snapped up and coming back off. And right now we're running toward that high 80s, making those sales, and that leads to a lot of competition because the houses are not sitting on the market long. So what we have last week was, let me flip her over, there we go, right side. Last week was 80-13 in the availables, which includes the coming soon in the Real Scout system. You need to get on board with me. If you don't have the Real Scout, you need the Real Scout, and I got it for you. That's a slight increase over the previous month, meaning there's a little bit more inventory, a little more stuff to buy. And we had 49.89, a little bit decrease on how many people are holding on to those contracts and still marketing the properties. Ratio is 62%. Now, both of those were trending in the right direction. Today we checked it as 80-37, which isn't much, but it is more than the previous week. So we're getting a little bit more inventory as we head into the summer buying season, and the under contract still showing dropped. That's again in the right direction at 49.83, and yet the magnitude of those two directions did not break it from the 62% threshold. The ratio remains unchanged. So we're in a pretty good place. Things are, I see, likely to continue to appreciate. So if you own a home, you're likely to gain more value. And if you're looking to buy a home, they might be a little bit more expensive in the future. So if you need to buy a home, you know who you need to call. You need to call Dell. Call Dell to sell. You can also call Dell to buy.